Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of SuperShares powered by Q. I'm Joe Marquez, Director of Academic Innovation for Q, and we have a great episode with lots of hacks for you today. But before we get started, I wanted to make sure that everybody knows Fall Q has turned virtual. We have been listening to our members talking about how they wanted to go to the face-to-face Fall Q, but they were not being given the ability to do so. So in order to ensure that all of our teachers have access to Fall Q, all of our teachers have the same experience, we decided to go full virtual. And the price is really fantastic. I can't believe how low the price is for this, but it's a great thing. So go to q.org/fall, sign up today, and we do have the complete schedule, with more going to be added in the next few weeks. But we have the complete schedule of speakers, of sessions. Go take a look at q.org/fall. Just select sessions and it'll show you all the sessions that we have there. And if you missed the presenter deadline, or you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm a presenter, but I do have a podcast. Hey, why not sign up for Meet the Podcasters? It is for the virtual Fall Q, so anybody can sign up for this. So if you go to qlearns.org/podcasters, by the way, it is all lowercase, you can sign up to showcase your podcast. If you are an author, we have a lot of fantastic Q members that are authors. But even if you're not a Q member, take a stab at signing up at qlearns.org/authors to share your book. And then finally, if you want to boom, it's a 3-minute mic drop. You can go right there. All right. So that's enough of that. Let's get started with today's episode. Now, I want to tell you right now, when my buddy Tyler told me that he wants to show me something cool with PowerPoint, I instantly thought about this clip from The Office.
PowerPoint is boring.
Yes, that is Dwight from The Office. Let's hear that again.
PowerPoint is boring.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, Tyler. I don't know. I trust Dwight. He says PowerPoint is boring. He goes, no. That's not what we're going to talk about. It is through PowerPoint, but there's so much power that Tyler's going to bring. Let's bring Tyler on. Tyler, welcome to the show. Welcome. Now, Tyler, before you introduce yourself, I want to let everybody know that you are a Q member, but you're not out of California, are you? Tell us where you're hailing from right now.
No, I am actually up in Nampa, Idaho.
Yeah, so that this goes to and we discovered each other on Twitter. You saw what Q was all about, and you're like, I'm not in California. Is there any way that I can join Q? And what did I say? Q's for everybody. Absolutely, right? So Tyler went ahead and went to the website and signed up for Q. So Q's for everybody, not just Californians. And we're glad to have Tyler here, even though he is a Seahawks fan. It's okay. He's here. I always tell Tyler there's only 2 teams I root for on Sunday, the 49ers and whoever is playing against the Seahawks. So I think you have the same thing, but reversed from me, right?
Exactly. And, as I'm looking at the screen right here, I got the Seahawks stuff in the background. You got the John Elway jersey. So it's kind of like the old AFC West going on right now. So it's a good old rivalry.
It is. It's fun. It's great to rib, but let's get started with the heck. So you're going to tell us who you are, where you work, what's your position, and then what you're going to share with us today.
Yeah. So again, my name is Tyler Keefe. I am a technology integration coach up here in Nampa, Idaho, at a local elementary school, the Sherman Gators. And we had a need for translation on some of the video broadcasts that we do for parents and everything, just with the past, 20 months of COVID uncertainty and all that. And our principal, he's bilingual, so he's able to do the translating himself. But he's sitting there, and after we recorded one video, he goes, I don't want to do that again. I just don't have the energy, at that point, because normally we'll do 2. And he goes, is there any way that you can do automated subtitles in Spanish? And I'm like, okay, there's got to be a way. So I went and looked, and the only thing I could find was, on Facebook, how it has the auto-generated subtitles, and you have to almost train the parents how to do that. And same thing on YouTube, you have to train them how to turn those subtitles on. So I thought there has to be a better way, and I just couldn't find it without buying, a super expensive program. And then I just thought to myself, I go, wait a second, there's a way here. And I started playing and hacking, and, PowerPoint, even though it is extremely boring, I will agree with that, but I found the power. I found the power in PowerPoint to not use it as a boring slideshow.
And this is great because, again, the way that you found this out was there was a need. It wasn't like you knew how to do this. You're like, where can I fit this to show people? You're like, it's something that came up through conversation with your administration, and because of your training and because of your wherewithal within the Microsoft ecosystem, you're like, I think we can do this. Let me figure it out, and I'll bring it back to you. And how did it work out? How did it work out with what you did? Did it just stay at your school, or did it leak out and the rest of the schools, like districts, like, wow, how did you do that?
Well, it's good you asked that, because we put it out there, and after I did this, I'm like, okay, this is the coolest hack. I had to make a quick YouTube video tutorial, which I'll send the link to you so that you can put with the show notes on here for people that really want to do a deep dive in this. And once word got out that I was able to do it in virtually real time, because I could do this hack live, and it does work. Like right now we're using Streamyard, and this hack will work directly through Streamyard live. They asked the other schools in our district. There's, I think, I want to say 15 other elementary schools, and 4 or 5 middles and highs each. Is this something that we could do to send out district wide on all of our communication? And I said, well, I kind of have something going on at my school, but I can fit it in while we do it. And so word got out, and then I started getting emails with video files of, hey, can you translate this? Can you translate this one? And it was kind of crazy, because once I got in the groove on doing it, it took just as long as listening to whatever video message it was to record it, export, and then ship it back off to them. And people were amazed at how quickly they were getting it, when they'd have to take hours upon hours doing those live transcriptions, listen type kind of a thing.
So can you give us a demonstration of what it looks like, and kind of talk us through what you did?
Yeah, so to do this, I'm going to actually do like 15 different hacks at once. And one thing that you had mentioned, do we need to have a second show on these things? So basically what I'm doing, this screen here, it's a program. It's called AirServer. It's on my PC, and I'm going to AirPlay my Mac over to my PC so that I can do this. Now, this does work on Windows. I want to make sure that that's clear. But in order for the audio to work correctly, I couldn't be using my mic right now. So I needed to find a different way and basically hack this way to do it. So we're going to start out in a program. This is OBS, and I gave you the link for that. This is basically a program used for streamers to stream on Twitch, but it's used for various other things, and it's actually really powerful when you get into it. And one thing I'm going to do here on the bottom left is called the scenes. And again, the deep dive in this is on my YouTube video. So if I'm going way too fast or whatnot, or you want to see it again, it's going to be there. But I'm going to add a new scene, and I'm just going to call this live translations. And I have no sources. So this is where I need to go into PowerPoint. This is the PowerPoint hack side of it. And yes, PowerPoint is boring.
PowerPoint is boring.
There it is. So I'm just going to go, this is blank, nothing. I haven't touched this PowerPoint at all. I'm going to make just a blank slide. And I need to make sure that this here is basically a virtual green screen. So I'm going to change the color of the background, and I'm just going to make it a green. And next thing I need to do is the slideshow options itself. Within here, I'm going to click on this one here that says set up slideshow. And I need to make sure that this is browsed by an individual window. That's the only way that I found that OBS can see it as a source very easily. And I'm going to click OK. And the next thing I'm going to do is this button here where it says always use subtitles. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I need to check the subtitle settings. Now, the spoken language for me is English, and I want the subtitle language in Spanish. But you can see here, if we need it in Arabic, we can do it in Arabic. If I wanted to do it for my grandpa's family, there we go. If I want to do it in Hebrew, we could. But for this, I'm just going to keep it simple for me, and we're going to go with Spanish. Now, the other thing is the microphone. For this hack right now, for me showing you this, I'm going to leave it on my MacBook microphone, but you will see that I have this thing right here. It says VB-cable, and that is creating a virtual audio cable, which is what's needed to get the sound off of the video that you're recording if you're not doing this live. If you're doing this live, then you want to leave this on your microphone. But if you're dumping in a pre-recorded video that you need transcripted on, you would need to make sure to use this virtual cable, and then you would click there. And you can pick where you want it, top, bottom, below, above, and all of these things are just general PowerPoint settings that you can use. Once you have those set, you're going to just start your show. And you will see here, it's listening, and right as I'm talking, it's already, basically transcribing, giving us the subtitles in Spanish as we go. So the next thing, and as I move here, I just want to ask you: is there anything that is standing out to you that you want clarified as I'm going, or do you want me to just keep plowing through?
Well, I want to say is, like, I think I know where you're going here, because you created this virtual green screen. Are you going to bring that into OBS and then put yourself as the green screen? So it's kind of create, or something else on the green screen. So it's creating this, whatever, like you are creating the scene, right? You're not
Yes.
letting the program do it. You are actually like layering the scene, like you would layer an image, but you're layering multimedia components.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go into the scene here. Again, this was my live translations, and I'm going to go ahead and click on sources. Now I'm going to add a source, and I'm going to add a video capture device. So this would be doing it live. If I was doing this as a pre-recorded video, then I would be adding media in this part. But I'm going to use just video capture device, click OK. It's going to ask me which one I want to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my MacBook right there. And it's fun getting, two different views of yourself at one time, especially when I'm on the PC doing it on my MacBook here and seeing it all different ways. But basically I can then just, put myself where I need to by just going transform, and I'm just going to fit it to the screen. And the next thing I'm going to do, this part's really important, is add in this green screen back here. I'm going to just add another scene, but this time I want to do a window capture. Now, if I do the display capture, that would capture everything on my MacBook screen, but I want to do the window capture and just the window of the PowerPoint. So I'm just going to title this one PowerPoint. Whoops. Go OK. And then it's going to bring up all these different options. I'm just going to find the one that I need right here and click OK. And then I am going to fit this one to the screen. If I can find my transform, there it is. Fit to screen. And you can kind of see how it's a little bit bigger than what I need, but I could actually move this around to where I want the transcription to go. And great. So it's done, right? That's all we need. Or, you have to bring
yourself into it now, right?
Right. So we have to bring ourselves, and that's why I did green, because this is the same philosophy, that movie studios use for overlaying things, is this green. This is a very easy green. It's not found very often in the natural world, although I have it on my logo for my school and the Seahawks. But basically, I'm going to add a filter on top of this. And I want to make sure that the PowerPoint is on top. It's the top layer. And I'm going to go right click it to filters. And then I need to turn on an effect filter and go up to chroma key. So if anybody's used Final Cut or Adobe Premiere, anything like that, chroma key, the vocabulary should be familiar. And I'm just going to click OK. And by default, it'll take that green off of it. And if needed, I could adjust any of these. So the similarity, I could take out more, but then it takes off the words. I can do less. And it by default does it at the proper one, which is right at 400, and then hit close. So now you can see that I have live subtitles going as I'm talking in Spanish on the screen. Now, again, you can use this as live. If I wanted to use it live, I would actually just go to here and start this virtual camera. And then this would be used. It would be in your drop down of available cameras on your computer. Or I could record it if it's a pre-recorded thing where I want to record and just go. But that's honestly it. I wish there was, more to it, but it's actually a really, really simple hack after it's all said and done that you think is going to be extremely hard until you get in and use it and just get in that flow.
Now, Tyler, I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there a way for you to bring this virtual camera now in as your camera on the Streamyard?
Yes, absolutely. So if I was to go to Streamyard on my other computer, which, why don't I just go ahead and see if I can do that, which is going to open up my tweet deck. So everybody's going to see all of my, fun tweets, but that's all right. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to go to Streamyard, which because it is a Mac, I can't use it on Safari. So I'm just going to have to copy it into Google. And again, I need to make sure that I have turned this on right here, this virtual camera. And I actually haven't used it on this computer yet. Whoops. I use it on my school computer. But then when I go into the Streamyard, when I go to pick my camera, then it becomes right here, OBS virtual camera. I click there and I'm going to go ahead and X out. You'll see that it's there, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the studio. So you're going to see a third guest here.
All right. So I'm going to add you right here, add you there. There you are. I'm going to remove this. I am now going to make you the large one right here. And there we go. There's that virtual camera with that live transcription, right?
Yep. And you'll probably notice that it's kind of clunky, which there's a lot going on right now, but that's how it's done. So we have 3 different things going on at once, so which is why it's so bogged down, but it does work in real time through a program like StreamYard.
Yeah, and this is great because if you're doing, so I know there's a lot of like back to school nights that are happening right now, and they're being done virtually, and especially in California, I'll tell you specifically, there is a requirement by the state health board that says whenever students are present and something is indoors, everybody must wear a mask. And some parents don't want to wear a mask, and so instead of enjoying the back to school night, teachers might have to be enforcing some things. So to alleviate any of those issues, a lot of back to school nights are being done virtually. But we want to make sure that those back to school nights are accessible, right? And if you're doing a back to school night on Zoom, they have live transcriptions, but those are in English. You'd have to hire a translation service to be able to give a different language in the audio, all right? And so this would alleviate that issue. I do know there is a hack in Google Hangouts that will allow you to select a different language to be translated out. And you know what? Our great friend Efrain Tovar, he showed us that hack in a previous episode. Maybe I will re-air that episode as a special episode tomorrow. So if you want to see how to do it in Google Hangouts, we'll definitely show that. But Tyler's hack works in everything because it creates a virtual camera. And so, but Tyler, I do know that a lot of people are like, I don't know, I'm scared of OBS. I've never used it before. And there's a lot of different steps. But you know what? Nobody ever said a great hack is going to be easy. And how much does OBS cost?
Well, it's that great low price of free 99.
Exactly. It's free, right? And I believe PowerPoint, most schools have PowerPoint, whether you're a Microsoft school or a Google school, most schools usually have both. So you have PowerPoint available. So why not play around with this? And we did paste, Tyler, your YouTube video of the how-to. And again, listeners, watchers, viewers, this is to expose you to a SuperShare. This is to expose you to maybe an idea you've never heard of. And we always say, hey, connect with us for a deeper dive or some follow-up questions. So Tyler, can you tell everybody your Twitter handle in case people have a follow-up question for you? Maybe they might want to connect with you.
Yeah, so it's on the screen right there. It is at Keef67, and send me, give me a follow, send me messages. I will get back to you, as quickly as I virtually can. But chances are I might have a video. And it's funny that you mentioned the hack that for the Google from was it Efren Tovar that you mentioned?
Correct.
When I remember watching that SuperShare live and commenting in and then sending him a message later, I'm like, this was awesome. Do you have this for Microsoft? And at the time he's like, no, there's nothing. So, if you're in contact with him, then, shoot him this too, because that might help him and, anything else that's going, that way.
Yeah, and I also will say that competition breeds greatness, because as soon as PowerPoint
PowerPoint is boring.
released this transcription availability, Google Slides, which does live captions during a live session, but no translation. So they have said that feature is now going to be available. So fret not, Google Slides individuals. You can probably use the exact same workflow and hack that Tyler is showing you here for PowerPoint translations in the new Google Slides translations, which is down the line, right? They announce things, and then down the line means whenever the heck they feel like releasing it. But it will be down the line. But that's competition, and competition, the winner is all of us. So Tyler, any final words for the listeners? Anything at all before we sign out for the evening?
I got a couple of things. So first off, if something's not working and it's not going how you want it to on really anything, computers or just life in general, keep working at it, because you might find a way that's not the exact way. But also, when in need, reach out for help. It's okay. I'm a prideful dude, and I'm not going to sit there and say that I like reaching out for help, but there are times where I will reach out for help and it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So, reach out. And, the last thing, Joe, you mentioned, doing the fall queue, and last year was the first fall queue that I was a part of, doing some volunteer stuff, listening in. And I learned a ton. And then last spring, joining in on the Meet the Podcaster one for my podcast, the Teacher Dudes, was a blast. And some of the same people that I was talking with live on that were some of the same people that I still listen to as I'm mowing the lawn each week or driving to school. So that's something that if listeners out there are looking to listen to and just wants a nice casual conversation, have fun with, that is an absolute blast of one. And I'm glad to see that I can still sign up for that, because I have forgotten to. So I'm going to have to go do that as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, and you've inspired me, Tyler, to, I'm going to go back into our vault. I'm going to find the past Meet the Podcasters, and I think I'm going to rebroadcast those as special episodes of QCast or SuperShares, just so people can kind of see what the vibe is all about. So I appreciate you reminding us that we do own those videos, so I got to definitely show those up. Now, Tyler, I do appreciate you. I do want people to know, reach out to Tyler. His Twitter handle is right there on the screen. Mine here is as well. I don't think I can help you with as much of what Tyler showed, but definitely reach out to Tyler. And also notice, We Are Q is a hashtag. And so all the Q members follow the We Are Q hashtag. And so if you do have a question, or you do, find yourself needing help, definitely use the hashtag We Are Q, and we will be there to help you. And Tyler, you're part of a Twitter group, a kind of an army of sorts. They use a hashtag. Which Twitter group is that?
That would be, if you're referring to the EdTech Army, one. That's
Correct.
the Twitter group that I'm on. And then there's just a couple other that use hashtags, but that's the main one. That's how you and I got connected. And it's a great, great group of educators. And, you know, like I said, somebody will post a question and within minutes you get 2 or 3, 4 or 5 different responses or video links or whatnot. So those, Twitter communities are good, but, you know, to coin or to use your phrase that you coined, the Q community is real, and it's something that anybody listening should be a part of.
That's right. I mean, find your Q community. We'd love for you to join our Q community, but definitely get on the socials and find your Q community and get connected. Because as I always said, education is a collaborative sport. And if you are doing it alone, you are doing it wrong. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for being here today. It was a great hack. It was a great episode. Thank you so much. We're going to have to bring you on again to do some more OBS hacks and maybe even a couple Stream Deck hacks. If you don't know what Stream Deck is, it's a phenomenal tool. You definitely need to get it. I'll show you mine right here. Stream Deck is cool. We'll definitely talk about that in future episodes. All right, Tyler, I'm going to put you in the green room. Don't go anywhere because I want to chat with you when the episode is over. But I do want to talk to the audience before we go. All right, everybody, thank you so much for staying with us in this episode. Again, sometimes the coolest hacks take steps, right? But also think about some of the best recipes that you've had, some of the best desserts that you have taken. Notice some of the best things take time. Think about the first time you ate cheesecake. Delicious. Think about the first time you made cheesecake, turned out horrible, right? It takes time, it takes practice, it takes steps, it takes these things. And this great hack that Tyler showed you, there are multiple steps, but he found this out for a purpose, to make the meetings accessible to his parents. And that's what this hack was for. So I hope if you are in a Apple school or Microsoft school, even a Google school who has access to Microsoft tools, these are some ways that you can make those virtual parent meetings accessible to all. And again, I know I'm pandering, but please, if you want to know more, if you want to do more than just a little bite-sized tip, a little bite-sized information, sign up for Fall Q, happening October 23rd and 24th. It is fully virtual now. Just go to q.org/fall to sign up, and also go to q.org/fall and click on schedule. And you can see all the schedule and all the presentations and all the amazingness that will be happening on those today. So I want to say thank you so much for everything that you do. I want to say thank you so much for your perseverance through these, oh my goodness, what is it, 18 months, 19 months? Through the years of service you have done, especially these last few years of service you have done. And just thank you so much for choosing the most important profession in the history of the world, and that is teachers. Nobody ever said changing the world was going to be easy, but you are doing it each and every day. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day.